Hello, Dr. Brian Abelson in Kinetic Health. We're going to go over a myofascial release of the iliotibial band and the surrounding area. Now, we're going to use the foam roller to warm up, and then we're going to get in using ball work to actually create a shear stress so that we start to release the area. Essentially, what we're trying to do is, when we use the foam roller, make the IT band a little more malleable. The IT band is so tough and rigid, it's deep fascia, and you cannot stretch deep fascia. That doesn't mean we don't want to use a foam roller on it. We want to release it a bit so that we actually take fluid out of the area. We want to basically create a situation, it's kind of like a sponge where you get in there and you put it into a bucket and you squeeze it, release it, squeeze it, release it, and we get a good fluid exchange. At the same time as we release the area, we're going to be affecting neurological receptors. There's a tremendous amount of receptors in fascia. They actually say that fascia is a sensory organ. So let's get in there and do the foam roller warm up on this. Mickey, why don't you just get on there and show them how to do this. So this is just the warm up. This is not the release in terms of the surrounding area. You're creating a shear force. Good. And you'll notice that Mickey's actually moving quite slowly. Now this is key if we're going to actually get a lot of the fluid out of the fascia and basically push it out, compress it, and as we move back again and release it, the fluid will rush back in again. How's that feeling, Mickey?
Pretty tender.
Pretty tender, all right. This can be pretty intense, so you want to get on there and do a bit of a warm-up, probably for a minute or so. But the real key that is going to be working with the ball. You okay there?
Yeah.
Good. So we're going to work right from the pelvis right down to the knee. Excellent. That's good, Mickey. Let's just move on to doing some ball work now. Okay, we're going to use a ball to help release the structures around the iliotibial band. Now, you'll notice I'm using actually quite a flexible soft ball. We do not want to use a hard ball, lacrosse ball. We don't want to get in there with a baseball. Way too hard. I mean, this is just going to kill you. Incredibly painful area. Here, Mickey, why don't you use that and just get on your side there a bit. Now, as I was saying, this actually runs all the way up from the waist here. The top of the IT band is actually put together from the glutes. The front we have something called the tensor fasciae lata. This comes together to form the iliotibial band. Okay. Now you'll see that Mickey is actually getting on there and she's starting out doing a few rotations here. The bone or your pelvic bone here called the greater trochanter, you want to find that bone. You're going to find an area that's fairly tight in the area and then you're going to go right on top of it and we're going to do circles clockwise and then counterclockwise about 10 times. So how's that feeling?
That's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it quite comfortable?
Yeah, it's actually not too bad. It's nice having the softer ball, especially on the bone.
Good. Previous to this, we were fooling around with different densities of balls, and we were trying some lacrosse balls and a few other things, and it wasn't a good situation. Okay, good. That's feeling okay though?
Yeah.
He's like actually even starting to loosen up there a bit.
It is, yeah.
Now some people may look at this ball and say, you know, it's not really going to do very much, but it really does get in there and helps to release the structures. Good. Okay, why don't you move down just a little bit, and then let's get a side-to-side motion there. Now, it's going to be fairly subtle actually, and if we look at the side of the leg, we want to make sure that we're actually going back and forth across the structures here. And we want to make sure that we're creating that shear force. If you look at the IT band, it runs directly up the leg. So the force we're trying to create is kind of back and forth like this. We're working perpendicular to the IT band fibers, and this will help to create the shear stress on there. Now, by doing this, we're actually going to help to make the fascia a little more malleable, and as I mentioned, we're going to change the hydration of the tissue. We're going to get fluid coming in, fluid going out, but we're also going to help to release some of the tension that's on the neurological receptors. Fascia, deep fascia, all fascia, as I mentioned, is a sensory organ. We have 9 times the number of sensory receptors in fascia as compared to muscle, which is just incredible. How's that feeling?
And it's getting tender.
Getting tender there?
Getting closer to the knee, it's getting more tender.
So this is a key point. You want to find an area and you want to work on it, but we're not going to overdo it. We're just trying to get a nice release. Sometimes doing a little less is actually doing more. If you overdo it, it could be pretty sore the next couple of days. How's that feeling there?
That's tender.
Tender in there? Okay, good. Now, we can really get good results, and quite often I'll see people having chronic problems, and they'll say, I'm not really coming around that well. By doing this, you should really be able to see results. Now, close to the knee there, right up, we call iliotibial band, the lateral knee pain that people experience, commonly we need to get on there with the ball also. There's actually a fat pad in this area, right underneath where the IT band crosses over. And if we get right on that area there, we start to release it, and again, we'll start to open up and take stress off the area. Now, the IT band actually runs deep, attaches to the femur. It also attaches below the knee here. So there's a space in between here that's kind of open and slides a little bit, but the key thing is the peroneal muscles here, when they get tight, they tighten the IT band. Everything above that point tightens up, then it compresses on this little fat pad there. So get right on the area with the ball there and see if you can't release out of it, and that'll help you with the lateral knee pain on it. It's a ball that rolls over.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Now how's that feeling in there?
That's nice, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that cross pattern there? Yes, yes. Feel that a bit in there?
Yeah.
Okay. And even though it's a soft ball, you still feel it quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Really good way to work out the IT band. Remember, we're going to work all the way from the knee directly up to the hip. Excellent.